Yo, what is up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the fight between Gabriel Benítez and Justin Jaynes at UFC Fight Night Hermanson versus Vettori. And boy, oh boy, this fight is gonna be good. I honestly am expecting a knockout in this one. These dudes are going to go out there and they're going to put it all on the line. Gabriel Benítez is coming off of 2 losses. Justin Jaynes coming off of 1 loss. They both need a win here, or their UFC future is going to be in jeopardy. Gabriel Benítez, 21-8, a pretty good record. He is moving down from lightweight as he is the 116th best lightweight in the world, moving from lightweight to featherweight to fight Justin Jaynes, who is a top 100 featherweight in the world, 16-5. Gabriel Benítez is actually favored in this fight, currently sitting around minus 190 as a slight favorite to win this fight. Justin Jaynes is currently sitting around plus 165 as a slight underdog in this fight. They both have similar ages. Gabriel Benítez is 32 and a half years old. Justin Jaynes, I believe, is 31 years old. So I really think age is definitely not going to play a factor in this fight. Something that will play a factor in this fight is definitely the height and reach advantages for Gabriel Benítez in this fight. I mean, he's 5'8", 8 inches tall. Justin Jaynes, 5'7" inches tall, so a 1-inch height advantage in this fight. Also, Gabriel Benítez, 71-inch reach compared to Justin Jaynes, 67.5-inch reach, which is a 3.5-inch reach advantage for Gabriel Benítez in this fight. Now, Gabriel Benítez, as I said at the beginning of this video, he is currently the minus 190 slight favorite in this fight. Justin Jaynes, plus 165 slight underdog. But if you go on to Tapology and look at the predictions for this fight, out of 658 votes, which is a pretty good sample size, 61% of the votes are actually going for Justin Jaynes, the plus 165 underdog, to win this fight. And most of them are actually saying that he's going to win the fight by knockout. 39% of the vote are going toward Gabriel Benítez to win the fight, mainly by unanimous decision, but some people also think he's going to win the fight by knockout in the first or second round. Alright, guys, so Gabriel Benítez, 21-8, obviously a very, very good record. I mean, he started his career off back in 2007, 13-year pro MMA career so far. Got 2 straight wins, lost 1, got 2 wins, lost 1, got 4 wins, got another 4 wins, ended up getting a first-round knockout in his next fight against Ryan Bixler, and a win over Antonio Ramirez, lost his next fight, got a first-round heel hook submission loss to Richard Villa in just 52 seconds of that very first round. Came back after those 2 losses with a second-round knockout win over Ray Trujillo and a unanimous decision over Angelo Sanchez, and got a shot on the Ultimate Fighter Latin America Season 1, where he ended up winning his first fight in an exhibition bout against Diego Rivas by second-round rear naked choke submission, but lost his next fight on that Ultimate Fighter Latin America Season 1 finale against Leonardo Morales by unanimous decision. But the UFC was like, alright, we'll invite him to the UFC, and in his UFC debut in 2014, he ended up winning his first fight with the promotion by third-round guillotine choke submission, and then got a unanimous decision over Clay Collard, and then got a top 20 featherweight in Andre Fili in his next fight, but ended up losing that fight by a first-round head kick KO. Came back with a second-round guillotine choke over Sam Cecilia, lost his next fight to Enrique Barzola by unanimous decision, came back with a unanimous decision over Jason Knight, and a first-round knockout over Humberte Banzede, but lost his next 2 fights to very, very good fighters in Sodiq Yusuff by first-round knockout. Sodiq Yusuff, a top 20 featherweight as well, and Omar Morales, who was undefeated at the time at 10-0, and he lost that fight by unanimous decision. Alright, now let's take a look at his opponent, Justin Jaynes, 16-5, obviously another very, very good record. He is a top 100 featherweight fighter in the world. He started his career back in 2013. He's had a 7-year pro MMA career. Started off with a win, a first-round knockout, a first-round submission win, lost his next fight to Robbie Ostovich, came back with a second-round rear naked choke submission and a first-round knockout, lost his next fight in WSOF by unanimous decision, joined Bellator where he got a first-round knockout, but lost his next fight by split decision to Jesse Gross, came back with a unanimous decision and a first-round knockout, followed by yet another first-round knockout and a unanimous decision over previously undefeated Troy Lamson, and then got a unanimous decision over Jacob Rosales. Jacob Rosales, who actually just got a main event spot inside the LFA, but after that win over Jacob Rosales, ended up losing his next fight to Tommy Aaron by unanimous decision. Came back after that with a first-round TKO win over Abdul Sami Wali Faizeh, another very long name. Came back after that win with a first-round guillotine choke submission over Devin Brown and a first-round knockout over Brandon Noble. followed by a first-round knockout over James Warfield Lane, and then got a shot inside the UFC, I believe in June of this year, against Frank Camacho. Frank Camacho was, I believe, somewhere like a minus 300 favorite in this one. Justin Jaynes was a plus 230 moderate underdog in this fight. No one really thought he would win that one, but literally in 41 seconds of that very first round, he shocked us all. He went out there, clipped Frank Camacho, he just kept on landing, and took him out in 41 seconds of that very first round. Frank Camacho, being a veteran featherweight in this division, a top 70 featherweight, I believe, in the featherweight division. But in his next fight, he got another step up in competition. As in his next fight, he ended up fighting Gavin Tucker, who he ended up losing to by third round rear naked choke submission. And then he was supposed to fight Gabriel Benítez, I believe in November, on November 4th. I'm not sure which card it was supposed to be. I think it was on the Felder and Dos Anjos card, but that fight ended up getting canceled as Benítez ended up testing positive for COVID. But now their fight is rescheduled for UFC Fight Night Hermansson versus Vettori, and it should be a very, very good fight. Alright, so right now, Gabriel Benítez is a minus 190 favorite to win this fight. But guess where he was sitting at when the betting lines opened? He was actually sitting as the underdog to win this fight. He was sitting at around plus 120. Justin Jaynes, I believe, was a minus 140 favorite. And the line switched so much right after that, with Justin Jaynes going from a minus 140 favorite to a plus 165 underdog. And the thing with that is, I mean, Justin Jaynes, when I saw this fight and I saw that Gabriel Benítez was a minus 190 favorite, I thought there's no way that he's a minus 190 favorite. That is insane. When I saw this fight, I mean, I really thought it was a 50-50 fight. I was sort of leaning to Gabriel Benítez to win the fight by unanimous decision. I was sort of thinking about Justin Jaynes' knockout power a little bit in there, because Justin Jaynes, he always comes out of nowhere and could land a big shot on you that could take you out any time in the fight. Gabriel Benítez has a pretty good chin. I think he could handle a lot of Justin Jaynes' big old shots. But honestly, for Gabriel Benítez to be a minus 190 favorite, I think that's absolutely absurd. I still think Gabriel Benítez should be the favorite in this one, but not that big of a favorite. I think he should be sitting around minus 130, minus 140. So if any of you guys are looking at this fight and are seeing how big of an underdog Justin Jaynes is in this one, I mean, 75% of the Tapology votes are going for Justin Jaynes to win this fight, mainly by knockout. I mean, that's saying something for the plus 165 underdog to be getting the majority of the votes to win this fight. That is saying something. So if any of you are looking for an underdog of the night, I think Justin Jaynes is the one that is the underdog of the night. But I still am sort of leaning to Gabriel Benítez. I think his striking is a little bit better. He lands a lot more shots on you. Justin Jaynes does land the more powerful shots, but he lands a lot more fluctuated. He lands one, then a minute later lands a bigger one. A minute later, then lands another. I mean, Gabriel Benítez, he likes to really strike with you and land 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. 1-2-3, 1-2-3. He likes to do that stuff. He doesn't want to go for that one shot, big time knockout like Justin Jaynes does. Justin Jaynes is obviously gonna go for a knockout, but if he's going for that knockout, I think if he doesn't get the knockout, it's gonna be all over for him. And I have Gabriel Benítez winning the fight by unanimous decision. Alright guys, if you agree with my prediction or if you disagree with my prediction, put it in the comment section below. Do you think that minus 190 is too high for Gabriel Benítez? In my opinion, I think it should sit around minus 120, minus 130. I still think that Justin Jaynes is the underdog of the night. He has the best chances out of any underdog, especially a plus 165 underdog, to win on this fight card. I'm still leaning Gabriel Benítez to win the fight by unanimous decision. Put in the comment section below who you guys think is going to win this fight. Make sure to like this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. We are so close to 1,500 subscribers. It has been a very fun video to record with you guys. Make sure to subscribe. It's been fun. I'm out of here.